will now begin with the most awaited session for the evening, a power-packed panel discussion titled Cloud and Digital for SMEs, Tech Adoption for Business Growth in the New Normal and Beyond, for which I'd like to invite our moderator and session chair, Mr. Vinod Dana Singh, who is Regional Business Manager, SMB Southeast India and SAARC at Amazon Web Services. A very warm welcome, Vinod. Next, I'd like to welcome our esteemed panelists, and we'll begin with Mr. Senthil Kumar, who is Joint Secretary, Tirupur Exporters Association and CEO at Premier Export Corporation. Welcome, Mr. Kumar. Moving on, I'd like to invite Mr. S. Jagadish Chandran, who is Secretary at CISPA and Managing Director at High Tech Spinning Mills. Very warm welcome, Mr. Chandran. Next, I'd like to invite Dr. N. Ravindran, who is CIO at Shakti Finance. Thank you for joining us today, sir. And last but not the least, I'd like to invite Mr. Biju Velayudan, who is Chief Information Officer at GKNM Hospital. With this, I'd like to hand over to the moderator to take the session forward. Thank you all once again for joining us this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Unjan. Thank you, honorable panelists, and for all the participants to take time today and join the session. So I think Gunjan has given the introduction, so we will start the panel discussion. To start off, I will request the panelists to give an warm up and an introduction about yourself and your organization. We can start with Ravindran, sir.
I'm Dr. Ravindran, working as CIO of Shakti Finance Limited, a Coimbatore-based reputed non-banking finance company. We are into hire purchase or lending for pre-owned heavy commercial vehicles under the reputed Shakti Group. And I'm in this company for the past 13 years, handling a lot of digital initiatives. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Ravindran. We'll move on to Mr. Biju.
Good afternoon, Nancy. And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Biju Velayudan from GKNM Hospital in Coimbatore. We are in the healthcare industry. We have around 7 decades of experience and legacy in Coimbatore, being the healthcare sector. And our IT is almost for 3 decades. And I work here as a Chief Information Officer now, but I have a huge experience of 2.5 decades in the same place. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Biju. Let's move on to Mr. Jagdish.
I am representing South India Spinners Association, Honorary Secretary in that. Our association represents SME industries, particularly. Last 30 years, we are association working for small and medium textile spinning mills. And I also am MD of High Tech Spinning Mills. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jagdish. Now, I request Mr.
I am the one left now, so obviously. Good evening to all the panelists and the hosts and all the people who have decided to spend some time attending this webinar. In fact, it was a very interesting session, and we had a very good presentation by Mr. Gopalakrishnan. I am Senthil Kumar. I am the Joint Secretary of Tirupur Association. We have around 1,150 exporters as our proud members of the association, and most of which I would say 95% of the members are small and medium businesses. I myself own a company called Premier Corporation. I'm the managing partner, and I've been in the business for the last 5 years. And it's a pleasure being here this evening. Thank you.
So thank you everyone for the warm introductions. So now I would like to move on to the first question of this panel. So we'd like to know about the digital transformation initiatives your organization has taken up, right? So what kind of digital initiative is that? Your journey in transformation. If at all you've started that digital transformation, how has your experience been so far? Did you face up any constraints, any challenges? What you can share with the audience, that'll be great. So that'll be our first question.
So what I was trying to say is, these digital initiatives, whether it is SMEs or big corporates, or whether it's any nature of business, it is all warranted highly now because of the competition, etc. And see, in our industry, this initiative we started even 4-5 years back. Briefly, we are centering around 5 core areas actually. One is like enhancing the customer excellence. Second is enhancing employee excellence. Third is about achieving the process excellence. And fourth one, it's like the compliance aspect is applicable for all the industries, whether it is GST or RBI regulation, etc., etc. So enhancing the compliance excellence is the fourth area. And of course, we talked about IT. We are talking about IT. Information security is the compliance or achieving excellence is the fifth and very important thing. So we clearly centered our digital transformation initiatives in 5 areas actually. And we are progressing well in this. And coming to the challenges part, what we asked for. Though we have clear strategy, we are moving forward. What we see is like change management is one important challenge we face. Suppose we change certain things from what we were doing for the past so many years, and suddenly the digital initiatives we want to move forward. The resistance for change is one major thing we face, and of course budgetary constraints. And here one thing I want to say, the management support is very, very critical. They should bite on all the initiatives and support the IT heads or the other process owners in this way forward. And one more challenge what we face, how to prioritize the technology implementations. So you talk about, I mentioned about 5 pillars. In all the things, so many technologies are coming. Anyway, the technologies part we may be talking later. I'm reserving that. So how to select the right thing. You take, for example, now Vinod can appreciate which cloud we have to take. The cloud is going to be an important adoption factor for digital transformation. So which sort of cloud we should take? I'm not talking about the vendor. I'm talking about the cloud models. So these are the challenges normally we face in the digital transformation initiatives.
Got it, sir. So that was really a great answer, sir. So very importantly on driving customer excellence, right? Because today the changing needs of customers, the customer consuming models have changed, and it's really, really very important for organizations also to innovate at a pace to meet the expectations of the customer, right? So the customer demands everything, right? So that's how and we at Amazon have always worked backwards towards the needs of the customers, right? So that primarily drives the digital transformation initiatives of every organization today. And as you rightly said, the support for a transformation has to come from the management, right? And they're equal very important stakeholders like our previous CEO Andy Jassy, who always used to tell that this is a top-down approach, right? The senior management and leadership has to have that commitment and that vision to achieve true digital transformation. You said that, sir. And yes, on change management is one definitely one area of challenge what most of our customers have voiced out. Yes, but when there is a change and there's a lot of resistance on embracing the new changes, following in proper change management becomes even more imperative. Good, sir. Thank you. Thanks for the.
We need your service, particularly SME industries, is run by the this generation or by the managing directors or the partners, whatever you call, directly by them. So you need confidence on SME put together for these solutions. You need the confidence. Like once service is available, then it's a question of building right level confidence. There are a few early adopters on the whole got the large number of SMEs in the right now experimental basis. But unfortunately, the textile sector, awareness of this technology is far from ideal. It's a very long way to go, textile sector, because all are run by basically very small enterprises or medium enterprises. They're run by the own. So it's a traditional business. The textile business is the traditional, next to the agriculture in India, the largest employment industry in the country. It is run by from cottage to big industries. So, but this is a big value chain. So the traditional business in private does not really on the need of a continuous data analysis to keep operations in a streamlined manner. However, the industry 4.0 is catching with other sectors. Our industry catching up. Still, the right and the textile industry automation is needed right now, but we need your confidence and confidentiality to come up with this. This is the important point. SME, as SME, if you ask me, SME businessman, still we are far away from, particularly spinning sector, I can say that. But maybe the exports, so they're already at their level. Spinning is the next from the agriculture level. Most around 70% of agriculture spinning industry of SME industries of India are in Tamil Nadu, particularly. So 48% of the whole, but 70% of SME industries are only in Tamil Nadu. Still, there we are far away from your technology, this cloud technology. So we let us see how it comes, how you reach us, and how you give the confidence depends on all of this. Anyway, it's a good initiative. Very interesting.
I don't want to be the last of the speakers because what happens is everybody wants before that preempt your speech. So I would like to jump in here. See, obviously, when you talk about exports and especially a cluster like Tirupur, for us, business is it's a very unorganized business. It's a big puzzle, and there are a lot of pieces which needs to be put together. So basically, the software was initially introduced in the production area where we were able to control the inventories in a much better manner and also follow up on the time and action plan, because for every order we have a time and action plan. And this software helped us to keep it on the time and action plan, which helps the flow of the orders, and that has helped tremendously all the exporters to control the business in a much better way. And secondly, later we were able to link accounts with the production departments, which helped us to control the cost of the business and also to take out the profits in every single every order, irrespective of its size, etc. And totally, the technology helps to manage the business in a much better way, and it helps you also to have hands on the business. And I'll follow up with the rest with your second line of questions.
Sir, thanks. Thank you for that training. So I would like to go from the previous speaker. So like you rightly said, on Industry 4.0, right? And we at AWS on one of the very advanced and upcoming future technologies, IoT Industry 4.0 is definitely one area where we see a lot of customers shifting focus to, right? And in a very few years, right, where there's going to be billions of devices getting added to the internet, right? And like you rightly said, the next generation of entrepreneurs, especially in traditional business, are looking forward to drive the business with data, follow the data first approach, right? So definitely across the globe, we see this across all the customers as a priority. And very importantly, to develop that confidence, right? That's why we are here today. We are going to reach out to you and similar customers in your domain, right? To build that confidence. We have a very large ecosystem on not just partners who can help you deliver AWS services, but also on independent software vendors who built custom solutions on top of the AWS platform to cater to all of the business needs, right? So that is where we believe one of our biggest strengths is, and one of the reasons why today millions of customers are adopting AWS, right? So we will definitely get there and get your confidence. Yeah.
We are from a different category of people, because when everybody says about a mission critical application, we talk about a life critical application. If anything goes wrong with my network
I like it.
servers or something like that, okay, my patient will get into a place where it is between life and death. So
Absolutely.
they are highly critical. And whenever we are doing digitization on the healthcare industry, we have to be doubly sure that okay, whatever doing is not 99.99%, it should be 100%, right? So that's where the problem for us. Our main aim is to give a healthcare to everyone. Okay, most probably whether they are coming here or they are at home. So that is the whole idea. And the second one is standardization of clinical practices. So these two are really, really big things. Okay, we just talk to them that we give healthcare to everybody, but it's not easy. Okay, unless and otherwise, when people are coming in, they are at home. Okay, we are giving a lot of home care services, and all that things is happening on the other one side of it. The other side of it, we are not computerizing as such. We are not trying to enter something into the computer, making them as a data and giving it. We are making the practice itself is very different. That's what we call it as a clinical excellence. How to get an evidence-based medicine into the digital platform so that everybody follow the standardized way of practice. And as Mr. Ravindran has told, the major problem what we face is the change management. Because in other industries, you can just place a manager and say, hey guy, I want you to work like this. And they will work the way how you want it. But for me, the whole scenario is something very different because all our doctors, all our stalwarts, all are I mean, near to gods because I have huge surgeons who's having experience more than 30 years, 40 years and all. And you can't go them and say that, hey, from tomorrow you should not practice like this. Okay, I will say you how to practice. They will just tell me, hey, please go ahead. I know how I'm practicing the way for so many years. So that is a huge, change management is a very, very difficult task in the healthcare industry because making a doctor to understand, okay, first of all, we have to understand what healthcare is. And second thing is we have to make them understand what IT is and how it will be beneficial to them in the future. Okay, and an adoption is the second biggest problem what we are facing because it is not something like, okay, you close down at evening 7 o'clock. Okay, you just change the software, you give it in the next day 9 o'clock. Okay, that works on a manufacturing industry or any other industry. Whereas in a healthcare, emergency can come at night 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock at any given point in time. So the seamless adoption of the software, seamless adoption of any of the project is a major challenge in the healthcare industry. So as cloud has come in, okay, we are also planning to move a lot of things to the cloud platform. And probably in the initial stages, we are just only thinking of non-critical items to move onto the cloud. And then we have to see that how critical things can be moved in the near future. So that's a whole plan. But your question was something different because you asked, what is your digital journey, which is going on now? My last 1 year journey was fruitful now because in our outpatient department, no doctor is using a pen and paper as of now. They use an iPad to do a consultation. That is wonderful. And we do a telemedicine also because of the COVID has come in. We have started doing a lot of telemedicine to the people. So these are the things which was the recent innovations which we have put in the IT in our hospital.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
At least now we can understand the doctors what you are writing. At least.
Correct. You told me that.
Yeah, good. So 100% I echo your thoughts, right? And this is we've frequently heard a lot of customers say mission critical applications. I think this is, you rightly said, life critical applications, right? And I've had the opportunity to work with very large corporate hospitals in Chennai. We like global hospitals, MGM hospitals, who are 100% on the cloud. They run their HIS systems on the cloud, and we are working very closely with them on very new innovative methods. What you just mentioned on those initiatives, and day by day we are seeing especially after the pandemic, we are seeing a lot of digital initiatives turn up in the healthcare industry, and we really look forward to understand more and especially to embed artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies on AWS to help on quick diagnosis as well as to take quick patient decisions, data-driven decisions. Right. So we are working towards that, and we are very much confident that we'll be able to do the right valuations to you in your digital transformation. Thank you, sir. I have underlined the term, the life critical applications. Right. So
Thank
great.
you.
Right. Good, sir. So let's move to the next question. Next question is going to be on as we progress day by day, right? The technology as well as business are getting interwoven so much, right? So, what are those trends in technology which are driving those changes in your organization? Technological trends that influence these changes.
We can just have one understanding common here, like for the other panelists also. Like we have a basic application infrastructure in place. Like we have a application to run for manufacturing, or it's an understanding, like and for accounting, etc. So we also have that environment well established. But what are the technologies we are biting now to achieve that so many excellences I highlighted areas? I think we call it as a SMAC, 4 areas actually. Social, mobile, analytics, and cloud. Social, I'll come a bit later. It may sound hard for some industries, but mobility is the key now. I think even Biju mentioned, doctors on mobile. I think where they can keep the patients at home or they're visiting also. That's a trend is going on now. The same case in our industries also. All our employees are mobility enabled. They can meet the customers or enter the details or sanction files or handle the queries, etc. through mobility. That's one key area we have to take it up. And analytics is a very, very important area now. It is enabling the whole stakeholders in the company to take their own decisions using data, converting to some level of knowledge or some support. It can be employee self-service or whatever it may be. And the so-called AI, ML and all it's coming, I'm bringing under analytics. And we are progressing towards that. And cloud, of course, that's why we are here. Cloud enablement for me, it's a key enabler. Okay, and I think most of the things are now we are enabling cloud to achieve. There's so many benefits. I think your colleague Gopaleshwari highlighted all in a prelude. So cloud is another one. And out of the SMAC, I covered mobility, analytics, and cloud. Social is now using the social media platforms. I'm not really seeing going big on using like Twitter or something at all. We started doing lot of initiatives through WhatsApp to start with, at least, because our type of customers are that. Maybe for our tea part or other textile segment and all, there may be different aspects are there. But in my line of business, I started very well with WhatsApp. WhatsApp, you can do wonders. Okay, I'm not favoring WhatsApp, a platform like WhatsApp. Okay, and other things we started using for our depositors, we use very much on Facebook, Twitter, Google, etc. But I can proudly say, I think we announced a public issue of 100 crores NCD. I think it was very surprised. I think the time period is about 25 days. Within 15 days, we reached 100 crores. And one of the major contributors for that is social media. I think the depositors' reach in social media is very, very high through our website onwards. So to sum up, maybe IoT may be applicable for Tirupur or textile. IoT is a very good area. But the key pillars are social, mobile, analytics, cloud. These are the technologies at which we are biting on.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next panelist.
Healthcare is being different. This technologies definitely is very useful. The newer technologies which is coming in is very useful in the healthcare arena. We, without knowing whether it is artificial intelligence or machine learning, we have developed a software long back. I can just tell you a small, what that particular software does is, it will register all the patient who was coming here for delivery from the day of they get pregnant. Okay, and all the components of that particular patient has been entered in. Okay, and it goes for 9 months. It goes for 9 months, and at the end of that particular 9 months, okay, we know that what is the outcome of that patient. They go for a cesarean section or they go for a normal delivery, whether they get into your what is your GDM, I mean diabetes mellitus, that is sugar levels are going high and kind of things. And I mean, we just developed a software in such a way that, okay, let us have all the patient details. That's it. Okay, after a year or two, okay, it becomes a predictive analytics. It is something like a predictive analytics.
Exactly.
After some time, we know that when the patient goes on for the first 4 months like this, they will end up into a different level. And we could see a graph, okay, going on a similar way. And we thought, oh my God, what we developed is a machine learning. Okay, we didn't know the name of that because this has been developed almost 10 years back. And then we thought that, okay, why can't we put in a machine learning into the what you call healthcare industry and see? And that has come out in a very good way, because I can just explain you in healthcare. Okay, important component is radiology and pathology. Radiology is nothing but your X-rays, CT scans, MRI scans, and other things. Pathology is nothing but if you have a tumor, they will take it, they will see under a microscope, and they will see that, okay, what is the tumor all about, whether it is cancer or not, or something like that. Then what we did is we started correlating the images with that. Okay, that becomes a machine learning, and that has come out in a very big way as of now. And we could easily correlate and see that, okay, this patient can land up like this, the outcome will be like this. So how to make that particular patient to come out in a different way. We can even predict the outcome of a particular patient based on how they are going through that particular through that particular journey of that particular period. So that's what we did. And currently what we are looking at is deep learning. Deep learning one we have not put in, but we are just trying to identify how we can just use the deep learning in our own place, because I understood that after some time, okay, the doctors have so much of knowledge. I have to definitely respect them, but there was in the Western world, they tried with around 100 CT scans, okay, and they are given to the doctor to analyze what exactly is the problem, whether it is a brain tumor, how it works, and kind of things. When they gave it to the computer, okay, the computers are predicted with the deep learning, okay, and it said that 96% of the things were correct. And when it gave it to the doctors, their human brains tried to give only 89% of it. So slowly things are making very different in the healthcare industry. What you see is something, I mean, many people will think in the healthcare industry, what you're doing, whether you're doing a billing, you're doing an accounting, you're doing inventory kind of a thing. Okay, much more than that is happening in the healthcare industry. So in the clinical practices, okay, your AI, medical, ML, machine learning, and deep learning is coming fast into the industry. And that really makes a lot of sense for the patient outcomes. And patients started using that in a very different way. We are a little far away from that particular place because we are in India, but we'll be definitely catching up much faster in the future.
Yes, so that's a very interesting area of technology trend that you speak about. At AWS, we've had very similar discussions with other customers on deep learning, helping them to adopt deep learning, especially on embedding machine learning on the applications, using a no-code platform where we have already ready-made models, which is as simple as to use, straightforward, right? So very easy to use, that which does not need any deep technical knowledge to run basic models. And for deep learning, we have developed our own chips to support customers to adopt deep learning at a much lesser cost in an economical way, but also to give a very superior performance. We have made our own inferential chips which that can deliver this performance. This is because we clearly see shifts in technology moving towards deep learning, machine learning. As you rightly said, cognitive analysis of the healthcare records are definitely going to be one of the major areas of technological investment in the future. Good, sir. Thank you. I think you echo the right message on healthcare in deep learning. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Senthil, we can move on, Mr. Senthil.
As I told you, we are facing, big international competition comes to government business, and the technology helps us to put all the pieces of information together when it comes to, at the analysis of, the production, and talking about all the new words have come into our business, like we call it SAM, standard allowed minute. Every garment, like for t-shirts could be 8, and for polo shirts it could be 15. And there are a lot of new books into our industry because of technology, which sounded very strange until the recent past. So technology has really helped the business, but as our other panelist, Mr. Jagdish, said earlier, it's we are still to catch up. Most of us are still to catch up with the entirety of it. So definitely, I think it could help, our businesses to scale in a much, scaling up could be much faster if this could be adapted into the business. Yes.
Mr. Jagdish, about technology trends in your industry.
As far as the spinning sector is concerned, particularly since I am from the SME sector. See, the spinning is one of the traditional, longest, oldest business. After the agriculture is being in the generation more than 10 centuries old business. So coming to the technology, slowly we are a small. Already the big mills have already come for this technology. So now we are getting used to this technology, and it's giving a lot of help. Even our machines are getting updated with technology. Usually we used to calculate how the machineries are done more on the mechanical part. So the machinery, even the machineries are upcoming machinery, new generation machineries are all on that artificial intelligence. A lot of machines has come up like that. So it is really the technology is helping a lot. That usually normally a small industry to come into medium to big, it will take minimum 30 to 50 years. That was the lead time to develop. But fortunately, the technology is giving all the help. We can grow our business in the span of a decade. So maybe the cloud will help us if you reach us properly and give us a more guidance and more supportive. Because the problem is the SME industry. SME is what we are facing is, that today the cotton is in the unprecedentedly high price. We are not, SME industry is not able to get the technological peoples are like what we call multinationals have this technology in their hand. They know what is the output and crop output and what is the requirement of the industry, how the forecast, and we call as a hoarding, they call as a business. So they hoard the cotton and sell it to the requirement. So to come out of all this, the technology, the cloud, and whatever we are talking about will help the SME industries go faster and a faster and in a very safer manner. So we need this technology to have, and still we are lacking. I can say still not like the medical industry. What Mr. Vijay was saying, that they are all in advanced because they have the big management, the money power. It is run by the SME directly by the management. So we need the fund support, confidence, security. Security is what I say is because the industry runs on the because I told already the industry is open to generations. There is no technology secret in this, but only driven by the skill of the management. It's like an example. If you know to drive a car, you can drive the car around 70, 80 kilometers normally. If you have a skill and passion, you can drive up to 100, 110. If you want to drive more than 110, you need really you need technology and all the other things to drive the car. Same way, we are able to, the SME industries come up to 100, then they get stuck up over there. Maybe in the future, your cloud technology and help us to come to the SME industries, give the confidence, really will help us. Let us see that. How are you going to come to us directly? Thank you.
Thank you. I think we've covered all the panelists on the first two questions. Next question is on how you perceive cloud as a technology partner, and recently have you adopted any cloud technologies? So, in case if you have adopted, what are the common challenges or constraints you overcome on adopting?
As of now, it's yet to catch up because most of the exporters, don't use multiple locations or access from multiple devices. And the second reason is, there's a lack of awareness of cloud computing. It might sound alien to most of the people here, because the very nature of the entrepreneurship. Because in Tirupur, our mantra is yesterday's labor is today's owner. So people are very busy, engaged in day-to-day activity of their businesses. So when it comes to computers and technology, probably it sounds a bit difficult for them to understand. But obviously, time will get them on board. And the third reason is it's very obvious, because the perception that the costs are very higher for small and medium businesses, for which I think you may have a answer for that.
Good, sir. So that was a very candid feedback. We will definitely do the best to give the awareness of the, and we really look forward to work with you and your association upcoming days, sir. We'll get in touch with you. And the opportunities are enormous on reaching your customers electronically, using data, also to reduce costs on running your existing IT setups, right? So there are more benefits of cloud, and the innovations it can deliver. It can be directly proportional and to help your business achieve greater heights, right? So we'll definitely work towards that. And hopefully in our next discussion, we will talk about how you adopted the cloud technology, right? So very confident for that. Good, sir. So we'll move on to the next panelist.
We are the evangelists of cloud in our company. In fact, our management also supports very well. More or less, right, whatever we want to take, the application or the platform, etc., we are slowly moving to cloud only. And any new applications, whether HR or something, we are taking in cloud only. This is a software as a service. And we recently, not very recently, 2 years back, we implemented online payment collection over cloud. It was very, very successful. I think 400 people collecting money from the customers, the doorstep, using cloud technology. It's getting stored there, dynamically updated in the backend ERP. And we stopped buying hardware almost 4-5 years back. And any new hardware requirement, we go to cloud only. So I think adoption of cloud, we are open. And maybe we want to make, now we are in a hybrid cloud. I think soon, by another 1 year or so, I think we more or less 90% will move to cloud. That's the way we work on. And coming to the later part of your question, see, I can say this cloud awareness in general I'm talking about. I'm not talking our company alone. See, one is the security is one concern. Many of the companies still, they feel it is not okay in cloud. I think it's a myth, rather, I can say. It is a mindset or myth, actually. Security, when I put things over cloud, is it secured? In fact, in my views, I can advocate cloud is more secure than on-prem. Because the type of infra what we have, data center, the facilities we have, everything is ruled out in cloud. And you have more valued facilities on security over there. It's a question of selecting a good cloud vendor, and you can configure it. And if you want more security, please tell no. You can buy additional features and put it. And second is that fighting with our CEO colleague, I mean CFO, financial officer, why to go to cloud and pay month on month some money and all, buy something and and I'll claim the depreciation benefit, etc. This is one nightmarish offer, we the CEOs face. I think Vijay can vouch on other Jagdish and Sendil also in your thing. When you come up on definitely you will face this issue. And adoption, it is seamless. Today they are working on, tomorrow they might not know from where they are working. Whatever CRM software we have, whatever thing we have, our people are putting attendance from wherever they are using our cloud HRMS software. So cloud is going to be the key enabler. In my view, I am advocating that. And properly, I think you're convincing the management, selecting the right technology, right cloud partner, and right secured facilities. Don't compromise on that. Then your cloud journey will be fantastic. I think this is the point I want to try.
Vinod,
Thank you,
one
sir.
more
Thank you.
thing. Just one more point.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Just a small.
Yeah.
We need personalized strategy generally for each sector. See, because you're coming to SME, you can't be a single common platform. You particularly for a spending sector or a particular SME sector, we need a personalized strategy that you have. I don't know how you have to convince us and put us bring it to our association. So I can take you that cloud is going to go because mostly mobile everyone has started using the cloud. So the cloud is not a new one to who are using mobile. So now today's world, everyone are using mobile. So they know the cloud's benefit. So adapting to the industry, it is a personalized strategy. So that way you have to think that do something for a spending sector. Definitely, it's because as I said earlier, spending sector is the second largest employment in this country. So you will have a good platform and good thing you can do it. We are far away. We are not using cloud technologies. We are not at all using it. So we need your support for the future. Thank you.
Good, sir. So I think we are up on the hour. I think we've shot about the planned time. So what do you, Vijan?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vinod, and all the panelists for this engaging, very, very interesting session. Wish you all a great day. Stay safe and take care. Thank you, panelists, once again. Have a good day.